In the early 1940s, as air warfare was evolving and the world was locked in global conflict, the Atlantic Ocean became a vast and deadly battlefield where survival depended on sound strategy, intelligence, and endurance. A group of German submariners slipped silently beneath the waves, confident in their mission to sever Britain from the lifeline that kept it alive. Before the United States entered the war in full force, Britain faced one of the gravest dangers in its history. There was no towering fortress, no army massing on a frontier. Instead, the threat came from the cold, deep waters of the Atlantic, where German U-boats hunted with relentless precision. This silent war was fought far from the eyes of civilians, yet it was one of the most decisive struggles of the entire Second World War. The German Navy believed that by cutting off merchant shipping routes connecting North America to Britain, they could starve the island nation into submission. German U-boats operated in deadly formations known as wolf packs, coordinated through encrypted radio transmissions. These wolf packs waited patiently in the vast ocean, striking at night or during storms, overwhelming convoy defenses that were often too thin and too slow to respond. Allied merchant ships carrying food, fuel, weapons, medicine, and essential materials were torn apart by torpedoes. Entire convoys vanished beneath the waves. This became known as the Battle of the Atlantic, one of the longest continuous campaigns of the war. Britain depended on these supply routes for survival, not only for its civilians, but also for its capacity to continue fighting. Without the constant flow of goods from Canada and the United States, Britain would collapse. Winston Churchill himself admitted that the U-boat threat was the only thing that truly frightened him. At the height of the crisis in 1942, German submarines sank ships at a staggering rate, thousands of tons of Allied shipping going down month after month. The ocean that had once symbolized connection and exploration had become a graveyard of steel, timber, and oil. Yet hidden behind the smoke and shattered hulls was a deeper truth. The submarine war was not only a test of ship against ship, but a struggle of wits, intelligence gathering, and the pursuit of technological mastery. The silent war beneath the waves was about to collide with one of the greatest intelligence breakthroughs in modern history. In the early 1940s, before the year 1941 turned the Atlantic into a proving ground of cryptanalysis, a different kind of battle unfolded behind the closed doors of a quiet English estate. As America joined the war and pressure mounted on the Allied navies, a group of mathematicians, linguists, engineers, and puzzle solvers at Bletchley Park embarked on a mission that seemed impossible. The German Navy relied on the Enigma cipher machine, believed by its operators to be unbreakable. Each day, its settings changed, producing countless combinations that shielded U-boat communications from Allied eyes. This encryption allowed German submarines to coordinate wolfpack attacks with chilling accuracy. But in the hushed rooms of Bletchley Park, the most secretive intelligence operation of the war was in motion. Here, Alan Turing and his fellow codebreakers lived in a world of chalkboards, punch cards, statistical deduction, and early computing innovation. Their work was hidden from the public, their achievements unknown even to many military leaders. With every success or failure, convoys lived or died, the stakes could not have been higher. Cryptanalysts studied patterns in German messages, often starting with the smallest clues such as repeated phrases, weather reports, or predictable habits of radio operators. These fragments, combined with captured codebooks from daring naval missions and broken Enigma wheels seized from German vessels, began to unravel the complexity of the cipher. The bomb machine, an early electromechanical computer designed with Turing's critical insights, worked tirelessly to test thousands of possible settings, searching for the one configuration that would unlock the German Navy's secrets for that day. As these breakthroughs accumulated, Bletchley Park achieved what the German High Command believed impossible. By mid-war, codebreakers were reading many U-boat communications almost as quickly as the Germans themselves. This gave Allied commanders near real-time intelligence on submarine movements, wolfpack formations, and planned ambush zones. The once invisible predator began to leave a trail. This intelligence, known as Ultra, became one of the most closely guarded secrets of the entire conflict. Every decision made from this information had to appear natural so the Germans would never suspect Enigma had been compromised. The breakthrough at Bletchley Park did not end the submarine war immediately, but it shifted the balance of power dramatically. Now the Allies could see beneath the waves. Now they could prepare a counterattack. In the early months of 1943, as air warfare expanded across the Atlantic and Allied convoys grew larger and more disciplined, the American forces and the Royal Navy prepared to take the offensive in a way the German U-boat fleet had not expected. With the Enigma breakthrough giving commanders unparalleled knowledge of submarine positions, the Allies built formidable hunter-killer groups designed to stalk and destroy U-boats before they could strike. These groups combined intelligence, technology, and fast-moving warships into a single coordinated weapon. At the center of many of these groups were escort carriers, small aircraft carriers that launched patrol planes capable of scouting the vast ocean. Alongside them sailed destroyer escorts equipped with sonar and radar, technologies that transformed anti-submarine warfare. Before these innovations, U-boats could surface at night to recharge batteries or reposition without detection. Now radar swept the darkness, exposing their presence. Sonar reached into the depths, tracking their movements with growing precision. This new approach transformed the campaign from defensive reaction to aggressive pursuit. The USS Bow became one of the most successful examples of how intelligence and technology reshaped the Atlantic conflict. Guided by ultra-intelligence, aircraft from the Bow hunted in areas where German submarines were believed to be gathering. In a series of coordinated attacks, the Bow group sank multiple U-boats in rapid succession. Each victory sent shockwaves through the German Navy, proving that the Allies could now anticipate and eliminate undersea threats with remarkable accuracy. Across the ocean, the Royal Navy achieved similar success. HMS Starling, commanded by Captain Frederick Walker, became legendary for its relentless anti-submarine tactics. Using intelligence cues, Starling and the ships of its group intercepted U-boats before they reached convoy routes. Their skilled use of sonar, depth charges, and the devastating Hedgehog mortar made them feared opponents. Walker's group destroyed several submarines in quick succession, showing how the combination of code-breaking, naval aviation, convoy coordination, and new weapons created a crushing advantage. These hunter-killer groups erased the myth of U-boat invincibility. The deep ocean, once a sanctuary for German submarines, became a deadly arena where Allied ships and aircraft dominated with clarity and confidence. The hunters had become the hunted, and the tide of the Battle of the Atlantic was turning decisively. In the early summer of 1943, as the England Prime Minister urged renewed resolve and Allied technology advanced at a rapid pace, the German U-boat fleet faced a crisis from which it would never recover. The once feared U-boat arm, which had prowled the Atlantic with near impunity, was now confronted by a coordinated and data-driven onslaught powered by code-breaking, long-range aircraft, improved convoy tactics, and the relentless hunter-killer groups that roamed the sea. For the first time since the war began, Allied commanders possessed a clear picture of submarine deployments thanks to the constant stream of decrypted Enigma intelligence. This allowed convoys to shift routes away from danger zones and sent escort carriers to strike U-boats at their gathering points. Even before a wolf pack moved into attack, long-range aircraft, such as the consolidated B-24 Liberator, began patrolling regions that had previously been out of reach. These aircraft closed the notorious Mid-Atlantic Gap, a region once free of air coverage where U-boats could refuel and coordinate. Now the sky itself became a weapon. Radar-equipped patrol planes caught submarines on the surface, forcing them to dive quickly and leaving them vulnerable to depth charge attacks. Merchant ships now sailed in better protected convoys, guarded by destroyers that used sonar and high-frequency radio direction finding to identify lurking threats. The ocean battlefield that once favored stealth and surprise now favored coordination and intelligence. German U-boat losses skyrocketed. In May 1943 alone, 41 U-boats were destroyed, a catastrophic blow that the German Navy could not sustain. Experienced crews, the backbone of the submarine force, were lost faster than they could be replaced. For the first time, Admiral Karl Donitz admitted that the Atlantic campaign was becoming untenable. The German High Command scrambled to introduce new designs, such as the Type 21, a fast underwater submarine that could have revolutionized naval warfare. However, these advanced boats came too late. By the time they were ready, Allied dominance was absolute. Convoys crossed the Atlantic in growing numbers, delivering tanks, aircraft, fuel, ammunition, food, and millions of tons of supplies. This torrent of logistical power made possible the buildup for Operation Overlord, the Allied invasion of Normandy. The collapse of the U-boat campaign ensured that Allied armies would have the resources required to liberate Western Europe. The silent war beneath the waves had ended in decisive failure for Germany, and it was intelligence, technology, and unwavering strategic adaptation that turned the tide.